Motherfucking Lady King, a.k.a. Big Mama Trahma, a.k.a. the Undisputed Champion, a.k.a. This is Big Mama Trahma, and you're listening to the motherfucking Mankind Podcast. Genevieve out here breaking her back for Thunder Canyon Brewery. Thunder Canyon Brew. You already know the vibes. Big Mama Trahma, SBZ, Mankind. And this is the Mankind Podcast. My style, I love the 808s, so I love the trap, I love the boom bap. My style, though, I think I'm still trying to find my style, because I like to genre bend a lot. Anything with a funky bass line, like, I'm all over it. BZ once told me that the instrumental speaks to me, and that's super true. When I find a beat, it's like it writes itself sometimes, you know what I mean? So it's different because I like all kinds of music. Don't fuck around and get me on like a metal beat, jazz. I be slapping to bass, country, hip hop, R&B, hyperpunk. Yeah, my style. I want a little something for everybody of all age groups. Because I am a little older. I'm not my demographic. I'm not like reaching for the little kids, even though I am, because I'm trying to set an example. Man, hip hop. Early on, like I was 3 and 4 years old, realizing that's what it was. So funny because I remember a specific memory. I was like in kindergarten and they teach us like how to clap to songs, and I'd be staring, looking at everybody. I'm like, why can't you clap to beat? Like none of you have rhythm, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm offended. I was offended as a 5-year-old that nobody could clap to the beat, you know. And I mean, I started rapping, like I was really into chopper style, you know what I mean? And I would mimic like Do or Die, Twista, and Busta Rhymes. So I started just getting the hang of it, muscle memory, and people ate it up. And I've always been drawn to the hip hop because it's just, I mean, it speaks to your soul. Hip hop is a culture. I truly believe in a religion, you know what I mean? Like some people are just born hip hop. You know what I mean? It moves you. And I started rapping like with the homies as every other little white kid on the east side of Tucson, you know what I mean? I was the minority on my side of town. And that was like my hidden talent that I'd bust out, and people would be like, what the fuck? Who is this little fucking fat white girl think she is right now? You know what I mean? So yeah, and my boys, all my homies, you know, I was that one little white kid. All my homies were like really good with the shit. Rest in peace, Peanut. Joshua McClinton, he was sick with the shits. Like we would all just record on like a little fucked up ass Windows computer, you know what I mean? And a little microphone. I think I'm still like trying to find my style, because I catch myself all the time when I write. And I'll be like, that sounds a little bit too Machine Gun Randy. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you can hear my influences in my songs heavy. Motherfucking Machine Gun Kelly. Day one. A1 since day one. I heavily relate to that story. Almost every one of my songs is just me. You know, like, I'm speaking Randy and Trahma into my music, and I feel like there's always like a piece of me that almost anybody can relate to, because I've had a fucking wild ass ride so far, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's like, and a lot of my music this last year has been reflective on the shit that I've been going through, and everybody relates to pain. So when I pull out the trauma in me and be writing the sad shit, the therapeutic shit, that's what people, they love that shit. They eat it up. I love it how Tommy said, he's like, everybody loves sad Tommy Will. And I was like, that's a fact, you know? That's a fucking fact. You gotta get the sads out. Being a female artist in Tucson, for me personally, I don't know, it is different. It's very different because they are few and far in between. Like, when I started, I saw LV, shout out LV because I love her. You know, she's been doing this for a long time too, and I was like, man, like she came heavy and she was gunning for the boys, you know what I mean? And yeah, with the battle, I used to sit there and watch her battle videos all the time, like, she's fucking sick, yo. And then that goes just for female rappers in Arizona, period. Obviously, SBZ. When we did the Tucson Hip Hop Cypher last year, Lizzie P, Chazelle, me and BZ, it was like, that filled me with this energy that I ran with all year, that like, okay, like it's our time as women creatives here to like step out and show out, because there's a lot of boys out here doing this thing and there's not many women. So when there's a woman that's consistent, genuine, and like really grinding for it, and I guess like dope. An okay rapper and dope, people be paying attention, and I love it. They love it.
One of the challenges I think that females face too is trying to keep up with the guys. It can be such a boys club, especially in the hip hop scene. So as a female, it's almost like you better be the shit, because if you're not, you're just a girl rapping. And there's so much more to that. And like Trahma was saying, being relatable too, that's another thing that I think you're really nailing, because people, when they connect with an artist, they want that artist to feel like a person. And oftentimes it's that vulnerability that brings you back to like, wow, this fucking rapper is a guy with feelings, or a girl with feelings. And exactly. And when you get to that point where you're talking about fiending for dope, that's real shit. Like, that's stuff that you don't forget about. And I think that your music is not only relatable to people in that situation, but both female and male. Everybody's got struggles, everybody goes through it, and everybody appreciates like bars, and you really deliver that, and that's what's up. So I just had to chime in with that real quick, but you already know the vibes.
Shout out SBZ. Oftentimes a lot of the shows I be doing is like during a weekday, so I have to I work 410s at my day job, right? Shout out AAA, because they be holding it down and supporting me like a motherfucker. They're my fans. So they'll let me come in earlier, work my 10-hour shift, then I'm getting off to go, Thunder Canyon, wherever I'm doing a show, right? So show day, I wake up, I usually do my set that morning, and I sit there and I hustle. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? I'm the least prepared artist out here. And you would never guess it. You know what I mean? I always usually just go and pick up my wife. We boogie straight down here. Half the time I'm still in a polo shirt from work. You know what I mean? And have my little nervous fit for a second and get up there and do the thing. Yeah, my strategy to get in that mindset, I be getting stoned as shit before a show. I have to. I try to smoke as much as I can. Thank Arizona medical cards for that. I be medicated. And then I think really when I get on the stage, I have a natural ability to read a room. And that sets the tone. I sit here and marinate for a second before it's my turn to get up. And I feel the mood. You know what I mean? I get up there. I usually, to break my nerves, I'll do my funny shit. I'll just be me. That's Randy up there before I start, just having to do something hilarious and get your attention. And that's exactly what it does. I get people's attention, and I watch people flood from other sides of the room, and they're right there and engaged with me, and they're really listening. You know what I mean? And I feel that's a huge difference between, I hear a lot of artists, they're get fucking closer, bring it to the stage. Yeah, everybody fucking. Yep. Yep, yeah. And to stay in that mindset too, when I look around and see people really tapped in and locked in with me, it's that feeds me this confidence and this gasoline. I'm like, man, you're really listening to me right now. And so it just makes me deliver the best that I can, and that's the most dangerous component, is that confidence and believing in yourself. I feel that's what separates a lot of artists out here, is you can see who is confident up on that stage. Anywhere, not just here, but that when you believe in yourself, you're halfway there, and that's usually the best. That just naturally attracts the tribe and your fans and just people engagement. When you just I know I'm the shit.
Yeah.
And not in a cocky way, but it's just like, you're going to like me or not,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Which I remember you wrote me that question too, you know, criticism, especially, that's coming up. I mean, it's scary and vulnerable when you put your stuff on the internet for the world to see because people are mean. You know what I mean? But I'm really thankful that I got in this mindset pretty early on that not everybody is going to like my music. Not everybody likes me, period. I don't like everybody else's music, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. And I feel like once you understand that and you're, you know, I'm just trying to relate to somebody out there, not everybody. You know, I always take shit with a grain of salt. And I knew when I started that I was going to get the smoke. You know what I mean? I've been ready for the smoke. So I think that's what helps me too a lot is that like I'm ready for it and it's okay. When I build a set list, I always think into consideration, where am I playing? Who am I playing for? Am I headlining? Am I opening? You know what I mean? Like, who else is on the bill? I try to keep the same energy as, you know, what is supposed to be the tone set for the night. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a small, more intimate show with more like boom bap mellow artists, I'll bring out like my more soft bars, slow shit. But if it's like a wild bill where I'm the headliner and we're going all out and I'm rocking like a 15-20 minute set, like I'm bringing every slapping banger with SBZ that I got, you know what I mean? Every shit talking, like, bitch, I'm the queen, better bow down. Yeah, on my trap shit, like when I want to, you know, and I bounce back and forth like a roller coaster in my set sometime because I be bringing it all. I'm like, all right, we're going to slow it down. We're going to get a little emotional and then we're going to turn the fuck up. You know what I mean? I love it. Yeah, so that's my set building process. Whether Beezy's going to be there or not really plays into it. The Tucson scene to me is truly a representation of the Wild Wild West. There's a lot of healthy competition out here, and then there's also a lot of like true hip-hop politics, and I mean, because we're hungry out here. There's like I said, there's a huge nuclear weapon of real talent out here and people that are wanting to work and grind and to make this like a career, you know what I mean? And then there's a lot of people that are more lackadaisical and don't stay consistent, you know, or don't really have the drive. Like, they say they want to make this a career, but they're really not doing any of the footwork. You know what I mean? Like,
Won't be here next year.
Exactly. Like this, it's not easy to do this, you know, and like you really got to keep a momentum because people have a short attention span, me included, you know what I mean? I get bored of myself, and that's why I have to like keep constantly going and changing, you know what I mean? I love it out here. I think there's a lot of haters out here, you know what I mean? And there's like I said, like the hip hop politics and people who think they're better than everybody else, or, you know, a lot of people don't fuck with a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, that's just that. So we're playing a lot of empty shows, or, you know, people are worried about not sharing everybody's shit on the internet, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I think there could be there is a lot of clout chasing, a lot of like, I don't even know how to put it anymore. You know, I think that we have the ability to do something really cool and crazy here, and I foresee it coming. Everybody as a community needs to put in the footwork and support each other more and stop being such a fucking hater. You hear me, son? Big Mama Trahma trying to be the glue here in the community, like bring people together. And that's what I do with my big old sunshine personality, you know what I mean? Out here whoring out with my hugs. I want everybody to work with each other to build something crazy like a warship, you know what I mean? It can be done, and it's gonna be done. I feel it, because I feel like last year was like my first and only year. And I would say, even given a lot of events that happened to me in my personal life and in the trauma life, I've been pretty fucking consistent. Like, I've showed face or been going out supporting or doing my own shit almost every weekend for like a year straight, and during the week even. You know, I don't feel like I've taken any time off on the shit. If I'm not in the studio with SBZ and Pops, I'm in somebody else's studio, in the home studio, or constantly doing something, you know what I mean? This year I want to be more consistent with dropping all this stashed music that I've got, you know what I mean? And yeah, consistency is the mantra of the year. My audience, see, it's crazy because I've got a little bit of everyone, of all walks of life, you know what I mean? Like I've got of all ages too, and I love it, that people that repeatedly come out to see me, for me, and it's really tripped me out. Or like what they tell me when I get off a stage and I get rushed by people that are just like, I feel you, and I heard you, and I feel you, and it's like, don't say that to me because I'm a cry right now, you know what I mean? I'm sensitive. My audience, I love it because it keeps growing, of all different kinds, you know, people that are a fan of like my one or two punchlines I be throwing out in my bars, and then there's people that are just fans of me as a person, and that's the best kind of love and support I be getting, you know, people that are like Randy and Trahma fans. So I would say quality over quantity any day, you know, no fake love around here. Okay. Ain't none. Making music has totally changed how I listen to music, because now it's like, now I feel songs differently and almost can like feel the artist, and I put myself in their shoes or in their head, and I'm like, what were you going through when you wrote this, you know? And I also judge the sound quality. I find myself, I'm a little bougie now, and I'm like, this could have been mixed a little bit better. You know what I mean? That's thanks to Beezy, because she's bougie with her ears. She's good with the shits. You gotta be. Yeah, you gotta be. Exactly. That's a fact. It's definitely changed the way I listen to music, and I love it because now it just makes it a whole new ride. My wife really is she is truly like my backbone in keeping me at least one foot on the ground, because if it was up to me and my Pisces ass, I would just be so lost, you know, and staying any kind of level-headed and grounded. Especially like I've been going through a lot with my pops passing this year, and then a lot of shit that, you know, with work and my own health, like I've been going through it, and my wife holds me down like it is nobody's business. That is the realest one I've ever come across on this earth. A1 since day one. Shout out SGSD. What do I do for fun? Really, this is what I do for fun. Yeah. It's funny because like I be doing it for work, but when I want to like get happy, this is my serotonin too. It, you know, even if we just chill in the studio while her and Mitch in the kitchen be baking the bread on the beats, it's like, yo, it really is therapeutic for me. And if I'm not doing that, I'm trying to convince Stacy to go like bowling with me or some shit, because I'm a child. Always trying to play some games, you know what I mean? I see Arizona hip-hop growing constantly. Like, and especially just in the time that I've been swan dived up in it, I like where it's going right now. I like that everybody's in this like collective of independence and just pushing it. I think that there's a lot of collaborative artists and producers right now. I love when they, you know, shit like the Round Table, pushing buttons, any kind of platform that we have to gather and network. I mean, every time I leave an event like that, it's like I leave with these connections of these people that are so talented. So I think it's only a matter of time and dedication until something really fucking cool happens out here. You know what I mean? I can feel it. I was just talking about this on the way here. I be dipping my chip into everybody's sauce here. Like, I've been recently working with Tommy Will, which is, of course, everybody knows he's like been my favorite from A1 since day one. Shout out Halsero for just being perfect. Shout out every single one of you that continues to make yourself vulnerable by putting out your music, your content, your art, yourself, and for sharing it with all of us, because we love you. Yeah. Shout out Mankind for the motherfucking Mankind podcast for doing the thing. Shout out Tucson. Shout out Pike Romero. Shout out Runt for really being the definition of everybody eats and always out here trying to be our sensei with the shits. I love Runt. Shout out to Stacy. You already know. You're my boo. Shout out Marley B for that Broken Complex major level up. That's the big homie, and I miss your hugs, you beautiful ass bitch. Bless you, BZ. Shout out Arturney and T. It's a family ting. Shout out Lil Wetta the rap plug, because she really be out here just throwing our asses in a circle for the world to see. This was the Mankind Podcast. Peace.